This episode has everything. Amputations, emotional worms, Edward 40 hands. What more could you ask for?
This episode has everything.
Just because they can doesn't mean they should. Can they brand that? Can they brand that?
Hi, and welcome back to Can They Brand That, the only show brave enough to do what no one is asking for, which is brainstorm real time in front of a audience.
You always want to say live audience.
I want to say live audience.
I think we're manifesting that this is going to turn into a late night show.
This could, yeah, this might
Unscripted.
be. Watch out, Seth Meyers.
Yeah, and we're your hosts, Lyndsay Sanders. That's Allie, LeFevere. Or if you want to, you can call us the Bad Girls of Branding. We are not going to give up on that catching on.
Yeah.
So far, Allie, what's the field report on if people are going to call us the Bad Girls?
I think the ratio is 0 to 1,000.
I know two gals. I know two very bad gals who are using it, but I don't know anybody else.
Yeah, that's about it. That's the buck stops there.
You may also know us as the founders of Obedient, a semi-serious agency.
Yeah. So if you're here, you know the drill. We do improvised branding. Basically, we pick a brand, set the timer for 20 minutes, riff as many ridiculous ideas as possible. Some are hopefully really, really good. Sometimes most are terrible, but it's all fun and games.
So today's brand is Duct Tape, and an unsexy brand that I think deserves some sexy, some, dare we say, bad branding? Maybe bad in the actual sense of bad branding. But so yeah, this is a historic duct tape brand. And I looked up the history because I was like, certainly they named themselves because people mispronounce duct tape. But it apparently initially was duct tape because it was waterproof and soldiers in World War II to keep moisture out of wounds and things. And then it started being used on ventilation ducts. So it officially became duct tape. But duct brand duct tape. How many times am I going to, how much duck could have duct tape duck if a duct tape could tape ducks?
Tape ducks.
And we'll leave you with that. So anyway, this duct brand duct tape, and duct tape, they do packaging tape. You name it, they tape it.
They tape it. Also, can we just give a little shout out that this was invented by a woman?
I missed that.
It was invented by a woman. Her name was Vesta Stout, and it was for World War II. And I think they were trying to seal ammunition boxes. So
cool. Oh my gosh. I read ammunition and thought amputation. I thought in a pinch
So
they were
you
like,
said-
we have to keep. I thought it was wound care,
So
an emergency situation. Ammunition is different.
So that I was trying to correct you in a very gentle way just now, because I was like, I did not read anything about wound care, but I definitely read ammunition.
So a woman invented the invention, not this brand, but
Not this brand.
duct tape in
correct.
general. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, yeah.
You
so
don't
that's the
come
brand
here
today.
for facts, people. You come here for fun and ridiculous ideas. So, we we are not responsible for any misinformation we might share.
We need to
in today's
put a
brainstorm.
legal disclaimer of do not take anything at face value.
Do not put this on a wound. We are not medical experts.
I'm no longer a doctor. We've been doctors before, but we're not doctors again, and we're certainly no longer lawyers. So, wow.
Well, before we get into the brainstorm, just a friendly reminder to like and subscribe. I said subscribe with a V. I said subscribe, like Lee Shriver.
You know what? That's a little of a foreshadowing to one of my ideas I had in the shower this morning.
Okay,
I
good,
was
good.
Waterproofing some wounds. So I think it's
Jesus
time.
Christ.
I think it's time to start the timer so we can answer the question on everybody's minds. Can
they brand that? I was laughing going,
I read it so fast when I copied and pasted it this morning, and I was just like, World War II, yeah, amputation. And that's why then I even thought I was killing it because I specifically was like, don't say amputation, say wounds.
Say wounds.
So just on the spot, just switching things up, wrong times wrong.
You're like, oh my God, she nailed it. She's so quick on her feet.
I know.
Ooh, look
I
at
was
the
like,
mind go.
I'm going to remind myself to tell Allie how smooth that was. Look
She's
how
like a
fast she
ballet
is.
dancer. She's like a ballet dancer today. Look at that
Well, she's-
pirouette, right? From
she's just-
amputation to ammunition.
She's wearing ballet flats. She's sneaking up on people.
Ay, ay, ay.
Woo!
Okay, well,
Okay.
let's get this
Let's do
party
it.
started.
What's inspiring you?
Okay, the first thing I thought of, and this is not a good line. This is not a good campaign idea, but the first thing I thought when we
But I
decided
wanna
duct
say
tape,
it.
but I want to say it, because I have no impulse control. It's not just for abductions anymore.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were still making an ammunition, amputation, abduction
No.
joke. This is just pure.
No, pure, yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
yikes.
So, but the ideas will get better from there. We can also cut that.
Like if we start at kidnapping, you can only go up.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
Who knows though? We've been wrong before. Okay, I did have one funny idea though. I thought it would be really funny if something along the lines of like a campaign around like we can do anything, or funny, with the idea being like funny ways to use duct tape, like a shoddy robot costume, or like holding together like a car hood, or like a window in a
That's
car, or like
funny.
tinsel on a Christmas tree, like things that get really crazy. You couldn't even do like the Mentos suit, like this pinstripe suit,
Which I had written down wallets. Remember when people would make duct tape wallets?
Oh yeah, I forgot
I
about
was going to have
that.
a wallet making contest, but that should be a user submitted, like, what can't we do?
Yeah, like what can't we do? We can do anything. We can fix anything. Like there's just something funny about seeing all the absurd ways people either have or could use duct tape. I think it's like super hyperbolic, but
Yeah, I
and
think
absurd,
it's fun.
that was pretty fun. Even like, I guess to your point earlier is like you could do like a fake cast, like a cast. But again, please consult a doctor.
Please.
Don't treat your wound
Please.
with duct tape, please.
Get your doctor's approval and permission.
Yes.
I think that's great. So when you accidentally said subscribe, I thought about them doing like a sort of faux PSA, or like, you remember in COVID when all of the celebrities like sang a song
Don't
and it was
remind
like
me.
cringy and whatever, but like, what if this was like other brands that are often mispronounced and they're all like, we stand with you, and it's like, or like products, and it's like turmeric, espresso, Worcestershire, which I don't even know if I'm saying that last one correctly, but so I thought of that, of being like products, and
That's
it's like
funny.
all of us in a row. They're in like black t-shirts and it's filmed black and white, and they're like, I'm turmeric, and I'm duct tape and whatever. Or it could be
That's
a little
so
more like
stupid.
silly and fun, of like things that people mispronounce that are just like things, like, or
Yeah.
like supposedly instead of supposedly, or like all the
Library.
idioms, library,
Yeah.
epitome, like that kind of stuff.
My dad used to always say, let me give you a for instance. So that
I
was
like
like,
that.
he was just like hodgepodging two phrases together. Let me give you a for instance.
Let me give you a for instance. I like that.
No, that's really funny. Lyndsay, I love the idea of misprint the other products or brands that are being mispronounced. I can't think of another brand.
I mean,
But
it would
like,
have
even
to
just
be like,
products is funny.
yeah, it'd be like
Products is funny.
Nespresso for espresso, or like
Espresso,
whatever
espresso.
Worcestershire sauce. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I
like
use that
espresso.
word. Like
Yeah,
that they
that's
would
good,
get.
that's good.
It'd be like maybe it'd be a black shirt. Oh my gosh, I know. They have duct tape over their mouth, and written on top of it is the wrong pronunciation of it. So like, it's on their shirt says espresso, and over duct tape it says espresso. Like or like something, or like, hi,
Yeah.
and they say it wrong. I don't know.
Instead of like form over function, like function over form, like a lot of times people duct tape things because it is an effective solution, but it's like, it's not.
Doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good, right? It's not
Yeah.
aesthetically pleasing. Like, hey, we never said I can't think of a good line. Like,
Yeah.
like if it's broke, we can tape it. Like, but the idea of,
I think that alone could just be like, picture a digital or a print ad where it's just like, or a billboard, and it's a lamp that has just a piece of, and it's working, and it says
Yeah.
function over form.
yeah,
Or like, is there any tied to that? You know how it's not a permanent solution for a lot of things?
yeah.
I wonder if there was something that's like perfect impermanence, or like here for you in the meantime, or like we've got
In the meantime,
not
it's
we've got
fun.
your back, or like there's just something of like,
Like,
if
there's
it ain't broke, or if it's broke, fix it. Or like, I just like the idea of them owning that, like, we'll hold you over. Like, we've got it. We'll hold you over in the meantime, maybe.
okay, like if it's broke, we'll kind of fix it. Like there is something really funny there. Like, what if
Yeah.
it's like duct tape? What the hell? Whatever. Don't judge me again.
It's going to
What
happen
if it's
every
like
time.
duct tape, like proudly your last resort,
Yeah,
or
proud to
like
be, or like your stand-in or your
your
understudy. Like,
like
yeah.
temporary solution. Proud to be your temporary solution. Like there's like
Yeah,
something
yeah,
funny
yeah.
there of
Like America's temporary, or like the world's temporary solution since whenever they
yeah,
1930, whatever.
that's really funny.
Because I like the thing of owning that it's like, oh my gosh, we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time is also sort of the vibe.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they're
that's
just here
good.
to like
That
a casual, a fling, like a
Lyndsay,
fixate. Like, yeah.
it'd be funny. Okay, what the image that drummed up for me is like someone driving their car down a highway and like the wind's blowing in their hair, but like the windows are all taped up with duct tape or the hood is taped down. So they're still
Yeah,
having the
yeah,
time of their life. They're on a road
yeah.
trip. They're still like, again, like just they're just really marinating in the essence of life. But like
Yes,
it's
but
really it's funny.
it's not like perfect. Yeah.
A line that came to me just as we were talking is like when nothing else works, we do.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
And it's
nice.
when
Yeah.
is it nice? Maybe it's too straightforward. Why did it feel catchier in my head?
I,
When nothing else works, we do.
yeah. Like,
Maybe not.
it could show gum, it could show scotch tape, it could show like rubber bands. Like, it could also be like
Yeah, like
the
other
best of the
thing,
worst.
like other adhesives or other like
Oh my gosh.
binders.
That also just made me think of like the star of the junk drawer, or like the hardest working in the junk drawer, or like something of, because it's always sort of in there, but it is usable, like more usable, the most usable thing in your junk drawer. I don't know.
Yeah, there is like I know that people have T-shirts that say like like the most powerful power tool or like they call it a power tool.
Mm.
So there
Duct
is
tape?
like a little yeah, it's like
Oh,
kind of jokingly
interesting.
called a power tool because it's
That's
a lot of
funny.
times gets tossed in with like, hammer, screwdrivers, things like that. But
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It probably is more in that, like,
it's
toolbox.
funny to think of it. Yeah. I like the
Yeah.
idea of it is just kind of it's always there, but
It could be
um
the softest tool in the shed, because it's
oh, that's
it's like
funny.
malleable, and like it's like the
Yeah.
one that isn't like solid.
The sharpest tool, the softest tool in the shed. That's funny. The softest tool in the shed is funny.
What did we do just recently that was stick with us? The meat stick.
The meat sticks, yeah. Meat sticks, even saying that.
Chomp.
What about do you know so duct tape is waterproof. So hold on, this is dumb. Like water off a duck's back? Is there anything? Because like duct tape, duck,
And we could do like
waterproof,
DUCT.
water off a duck's back. I don't know.
Yeah.
Feels like the line
Like,
works.
it could be like, don't sweat it, right? Like, don't be stressed if something small breaks.
Yeah,
Handle it like water off a duck's back.
duck's back.
Well, speaking of ducks,
Sometimes the line works, but the idea doesn't. Or the line
know,
feels worth saying, but it's you're banging a
that's what this
broken
show
drum.
is all about. Speaking of ducks, I was like, should there be a fun takeover? And I've only thought of one product, but like instead of packing tape, it's quacking tape. Like just for like a blitz, or like you could click a button in the website, all like switches to like it, like beak could stand for break. Like you could switch, like
Yeah.
everything is like suddenly in duck
Duck speak?
terms.
I think it's called
Duck speak.
quackology or quack
Thing, yeah. quack
quacklish,
quackish. Yeah.
mallardable.
Mm.
They were also used. Apollo 13 used duct tape to create a carbon dioxide filter after an explosion. So, I wonder if there are other times in history it's been used in these like really monumental ways, like how
That's
the
cool.
woman who created it like was sealing up ammunition boxes. Are we sure? We still jury's still out. What was she sealing up? Um,
Like,
Stupid.
never did I ever think that amputation was going to come up on a Can They Brand That? And it didn't have to. That's the thing.
It was
There's
all
no
user
reason in
error.
the world.
Oh, user, don't ever trust AI.
And this is the type of thing that cements itself in my memory, that I'm going to think and misspeak.
This will be your party.
In the future, I'll be like, yeah, they
This will
used
be-
to, I mean, when soldiers got their limbs, blown off in World War II, that's why duct tape came in. It sounds
You're going to start, this is going to be an anecdote you start telling when you're nervous in a social setting.
Oh, yeah. Don't bring up duct tape. Don't drink. That's when I
Don't
turn to
you
Caleb before I
dare.
walk in a party. Do not bring up ammunition. And I walk in and I'm like, did you know that in World War II? Oh,
Lyndsay with her historical references again.
classic Lyndsay bringing up her
Classic
history.
Lens. Well, I thought of like duct, goose. And I was trying to think of like how to make any other kids' games work. I just finished Squid Game, so that's probably why they're in. That's
Maybe
in my brain.
on Goose, you throw a roll of duct tape at whoever is Goose instead of patting the heads.
you like hog
You
tie
stick
them.
something to it. Yeah. Give me your hands. Well, I grew up in the one state where it's duck, duck, gray duck. So you'd have to adapt it for Minnesota.
Oh, that's right.
It's upsetting.
I hate that
else?
fact. That upsets
Well,
me.
Listen, I'm not sure of the accuracy, as is the theme, but I'm pretty sure because it's like Norwegian game and it translates more to duck, duck, gray duck because gray duck
Yeah.
is some like, but like goose makes a lot more sense when we're the only ones that held on to it because the northern Minnesota has a big Swedish, Norwegian something population. Lots of amputations, okay? Shut up.
Don't bring up the Swedish population.
Do
Do not
not
bring up the Norwegians.
Not just about. Things are going great.
Stupid.
Duct.
We are definitely not getting hired. I could just say that in advance.
I know, like we're going to be able to skip all hired or fired and just be like, what's your one hired and one fired? I'm just like, it's just fired. This
Just
episode is
fire
just fired.
for this episode.
Okay, what about
let's-
packing and shipping?
Packing and shipping.
Ooh, Allie, I just saw leopard print. They've got fun prints. That
Say
feels right up your
what?
alley.
Oh my God. I might start
Wow.
styling my
Ship with
wardrobe with
style.
some duct tape. Oh my God. Don't tell Nance that. See, my mom loves animal print. For the audience, in case the audience isn't aware, my
Here's
mother
some
loves
Nancy background.
all things animal print. But if you buy her anything animal print, she won't use it. She just like I've bought her,
Displays it.
I've purchased for her like Kleenex boxes, things like that. She cherishes them so deeply that she will just never use them. So if we buy this, it'll never get used. It'll just collect dust. But it is
It'll
jazzy.
collect ducts.
Ducts.
Oh, I did have a dumb idea that they could do, instead of rock, paper, scissors, they could do rock, taper, scissors. And for some reason, duct tape is like trying to take that game over. I don't know where it
I like it.
happens. I also, maybe it's tied to my like Edward 40 Hands. They would be like a sponsor of like setting a new Guinness World Record for that.
That's pretty funny.
Like they could there's a neighborhood bar in my neighborhood, if you can believe it, that has $4 40s. It's like what it says on the shirts or whatever. Imagine if there was a mini little roll of duct tape that came with every one. And like
That's
it was
that's a
sponsored
funny
by
little
duct
campaign.
tape. It'd be
That
cute.
would be funny to do a partnership with a beer brand that is like historically used. Like, I wonder what the most popular brand used
Miller
for
High
Edward
Life.
40 Hands.
Those
That's what I was
40s, don't you
thinking.
think? The glass.
The only last idea I had is just like a funny origin story that like ducks invented duct tape. I don't know. I was like thinking, is there like that's how they were constructing their nests. I don't know. I was just thinking like a funny origin story. But
The
then it's
secret
like,
ingredient to a good nest, and that nest could be your home as
Yeah.
well. Like
Yeah.
no nest is complete. That's cute.
there's like something silly there, but then it's like, oh, I don't want to take it away. We don't want to take this win away from,
Birds.
women.
Oh.
The woman inventor. Birds.
With all respect to the avian community, I thought you meant we don't want to take the win away from like how hard it is to build a nest.
I mean,
for
yeah.
birds.
Yeah. I would have to say that birds and women have it equally hard in our society. If I had
Yeah.
to just do a quick comparison.
Before we move on to Mascot, is there anything we're missing with like duck idioms or duck games or water. Oh, odd duck, strange duck could also be like a fun
Oh, you could do
phrase for like when you've like fixed things in a weird way, but it works. So like we could do odd duck for the function over form thing as well and show things that are fixed in sort of a janky way, but they work. Like
yeah.
we love an odd duck, strange duck.
Lyndsay, what about like we have your ducks in a row? Like that feels very aligned with what they do.
That's cute. Duck
Oh,
down.
There's
duck and duck.
also there's a phrase like if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck,
It is a duck.
you know it's
Oh my
duct tape.
gosh.
I don't know. Like, is there something funny
Yeah.
there?
You know what it could be? It could be like the front of I keep picturing a broken lamp for some reason. Like the front, like something that looks like it's fully, and then you like turn it to see that there's like a little piece there, or like
Yeah.
something tall, and you like spin it, and then it's like if it walks like a duck and looks like a duck, it's duct tape, and then it just shows like you like can't really tell, but like it's a table leg or a little
Yeah.
thing, and it's
There-
like sort
there's
of the
something cute
hidden
there.
Yeah, that's really
Like
cute.
the idea of like if like of course it's us. Like it's of course
Yeah,
it's us
like
that's
if
doing
it's
this thing. Yeah,
if it is
I like
fixed
that.
and it is holding up, then
then it's
it's
duct tape.
a duck, but then it's duct tape. That's cute.
Interesting. Okay. Do we want
Well,
do we want to just, I mean, segue.
let's see. My watch tells me that it is mascot o'clock.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mascot o'clock.
Well, so they have a tall duck. They've had a duck mascot since 1984.
Oh, let's
His
look.
name used to be Manco T. Duck because Manco is was the owner of Duct Tape. And then in 2002, he was
there he is.
named Trust E. Duck. But he's just like he's in is just a big. It looks like an old timey.
Yeah.
It looks like a homemade costume. It looks like those are like snorkeling flippers that they have spray painted.
Also, if I could be critical for 1 second, he looks more like a chicken a little bit in some pictures, a little bit like a
Yeah.
chick. Because he's yellow, maybe, and like I don't know if
Yeah.
yellow is the color I associate with ducks entirely. I don't know.
What are you thinking of a duck? What color are your ducks?
I'm
Like
thinking
lighter,
more
like
of a
white, like a creamy.
I think I'm thinking mallard.
Color's a mallard.
It's got some green in it, and it's got some white and
Oh,
brown.
beautiful.
It's
Beautiful.
elegant. Truly. So, you
But
know,
like I'm thinking of a
this looks
fancier
like
duck than you.
this looks like some cheap ass duck. I was kidding.
This looks like a dollar store duck.
But
I
he is looking like there's a couple funny old. I'm like just googled it. There's
Yeah.
a couple funny old photos where he's got like he's almost got a train conductor hat. I guess it's like a workman hat, and he's got like a sash, like he is like a
Yeah.
prom queen.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting outfit combo. I wonder where the inspo for that is. Because you would think he would have like a silver sash as like duct tape.
But that's what it looks like on their little logo. Look at
Oh yeah, okay, that makes
he's
sense.
got-
It's the green with the.
well, I mean, I think they have him. The little guy in there is a yellow duck with a green sash. He's like more cartoony
I
in
take
there.
it all back. He's adorable. Okay,
Yeah.
so duck has
You
been
better
done.
be loyal.
Duck
Duck has been done. The first thing that comes to my mind would be a mummy that's all made of duct tape.
Okay.
And it'd be like don't be breaking things is scary. We're here to help. Or like long live, since they like it is long lasting.
Ancient. Like we've been around
Dead.
longer, or like we've been around longer than. We've been bringing things back from the dead since.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Or like that. I mean, this is morbid, but it'd be like that lamp doesn't have to die. Like resurrect or like bring it back.
Yeah,
sort of
resurrecting
thing. A
your-
mummy.
You're broken.
So
good.
serious.
What about like a robot? Like I said before, like a robot or Tin Man, like something that's like. What else could you make out of duct silver? I know it comes in other colors, but like when you think duct tape, you think silver.
Yeah.
Silver,
A
like
little robot.
like a silver, yeah, like a robot.
Like works hard, works well. I also keep thinking like of a little roll of it and an inching, like being a little inchworm.
Oh, like a little inchworm. Yeah. That's
And, like,
cute.
Like something about like inching your way towards repairs. I don't know what the worm would. I don't know what the worm would do.
Should I
Like
use
what?
Is this where my worm voice comes into play?
I'm really nervous when I'm repairing things.
Okay, yeah, so he's
I get really
unsure.
nervous. I get really nervous when I repair things.
He
But
also sounds like somebody who gets really, like, attached. He
Yeah.
sounds like he's like he's like
I get a little attached to the things I fix. But,
he's a
you know,
little worm that, like, the minute he meets somebody, he's just like,
He
"Hi."
falls in love.
And he falls in love with a lamp, and he falls in love with a broken, like,
And he
post, and he
never
falls
he
in love.
and
He
he
doesn't
wants
ever
to
wanna
be your
let
forever
go.
solution. He would be your forever solution if he
If he
could
could.
be. Wow. Wow, I'm actually I feel emotional now. Um
This episode has everything. Amputations, emotional worms, Edward 40 hands. What more could you ask for?
This episode has everything.
Oh my gosh, he's a tapeworm then.
Oh,
That sticks with you.
there
That
we
doesn't
go.
wanna leave.
There we go. He's a tapeworm. Oh, that's
Oh,
grotesque.
he is truly
Well,
demented.
my brain is not. I cannot think of a
I think-
single good mascot
I think
beyond what
that's
we talked
probably
about.
because the minute you started insulting him, our brains were
Yeah, I was
cursed because he's like, I'm here. I'm trusty duck. So
I know,
leave me alone.
yeah, that was.
Oh my
I
gosh.
deserve that. I deserved a blank slate.
You know what I just thought of that we should do right before we do hired or fired, or like I thought of another idea I want to throw in is, you know how your phone autocorrects the F word to duck? And so it'd be fun
Oh,
to do a faux, like a mockumentary where someone was like, I'm the inventor of duct tape and I made a deal with the devil or like whatever. They're the reason that's that autocorrect. They're like, no one's ever wanted to say duck, but I wanted to make sure duck was on everyone's mind. Like that could be a funny, like,
that's really.
this was my
funny.
evil plan.
Okay, that reminds me, like, the word correct, like autocorrect, correct, like we correct your, like there's something tied in with that too.
Oh my gosh, because we could also do, and I think we've talked about this before, but you could do entire billboards that were text only of, like, what's the one I always think of? Back when we were in college, there was T9 texting, and it would say, don't worry, I'll be home soon was what I went to text once, and it said, foot worry, I'll be good soon. Like, so you could
Yeah.
have really simple little autocorrects and be like, so such a good solution. It feels like an autocorrect or like autocorrect your
Yeah.
broken things. We're not exactly there, but I feel like there'd be
There's
some
there.
duck and
Okay, so well, that makes me think of is like just a campaign where like phrases you would normally say like fuck, like duck you or go duck yourself and it's like I'm trying to think what the tagline would be like.
your
Like,
autocorrect.
Like we're always correcting your mistakes. Like
You would sort of have to go like, maybe it would say like trust the autocorrect or something like that. And it could be all things of like using duct tape because it'd be like, because an autocorrect, I feel like that could be interesting. Like
there's something in there. I feel like when we spent time with it, like you could find it.
Yeah.
The right line
That'd be
or
fun.
the right. Yeah, that's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Hired
or fired?
Hired or fired.
Ooh, I do think the hired. I do think it'd be fun to like all the silly, absurd uses for duct tape. I think there's something there, like a
Yes.
campaign that is
Yes.
like
I think a user
explores
submitted
that.
thing of people doing that is really funny too.
Yeah.
Of like the best of the best. And it could be like a photo competition or something.
Yeah,
of
or like we can, like the whole like we can do anything, we can fix anything. Something like that is funny. Need to be like tweaked and fine tuned, but I think that has legs because I think people do use it for just like ridiculous reasons.
Yeah, best use. They could do like the Oscars, the trustees, if that's their mascot name, and
Yeah.
it's sort of like best use in a blah blah blah, best waterproof blah blah, best innovation, best
Yeah.
crafting, and you could have like people could submit their stuff. That could be fun as like a gala. I think a hired would maybe be the other brands or other products that also get mispronounced. I think
Yeah.
could be a fun thing.
That's funny.
Espresso and Worcestershire. And probably the last one we just talked about the autocorrect from duck to the F word is. I'm going to say hired would be how many times, or fired would be how many times I mentioned amputation.
I might fire you from our business partnership. Yeah, I can't even think of some of the shit I said. I just said it like duck goose. I had like no idea beyond that phrase. So fired. I would say I'd probably fire us for at least 70% of the things we said.
Water off a duck's back, and like
it's like there was nothing beyond
duck
that line.
and cover, yeah. And I'd fire us for even trying to replace Trusty Duck. And I realized I saw in my notes I had Ludacris as a celebrity spokesperson singing "Roll Out," and it's just like someone like unrolling duct tape or like a bunch of duct tape on a roll.
I do think that would be fun. That is the type of stupid commercial that people like. Roll out, and then it's just
people
unrolling.
Going.
Yeah.
Also, you know what'd be really funny? That sounds like a duck. When you pull duct tape, that sounds like a quack almost. So like, how funny if you saw ducks and then you thought you heard it, and it and a commercial it panned, and these guys are just unrolling duct tape to like put it up because it's like sort of sounds like a duck.
Is there anything with like it being like a bird call where like when you unroll it, like ducks like flock to you, like you're almost like calling them home?
Or other just like B+ handyman. Like you hear the sound. It's like answer the call. That's what it'd be like. Answer the duck call, and he'd be like quack, and then they'd be like, "Do you need to tape something up? What's leaking? A pipe is leaking." That's pretty funny.
Stupid.
Answer the call. That's so dumb.
Shameless pluggaroo.
After all of that, if that got you excited about your own business, or if you have a friend of a friend who has a business who needs some playfulness and fun, we are an actual agency. We work with actual brands, really great ones who trust the truth that fun sells. So we've been doing this for a decade. We've been having a blast. And this show is just our way of showing a little bit how our brains work in, the initial 20 minutes when we have a client, but we spend tons more time, tons more strategy, but just as much silliness. So you can hire us by going to obedientagency.com. You remember last time I included the www?
Yeah, I was like,
by going to quack.obedientagency.com.
/amputation.
And just before I leave you, in World War II, and that's roll that beautiful duct tape footage.
Unroll that beautiful duct tape footage.
Okay, we'll see you guys next time.
Quack you later. Wow, you've really cracked me up on this episode. Wow, I gotta get it in. Okay,
we've gone quackers. We'll have to use that in an episode.
We'll have to tack that on at the end of this brainstorm.
I'm putting that in.